Out of respect, I want to take a moment of silence before I reveal this information. Everything in this video is proven by official police records. I speak with Warren Sapp directly. Haters will be blocked.
And you don't have my permission to record me, just so you know.
You know you are a public servant, and I can record the police in the course of their duties. You might want to get in the Constitution, Chief. Sheriff, you might want to do the Constitution.
Sheriff Stevens is a slap in the face to taxpayers. He thinks he's above the law and doesn't even hide what he's doing. Okeechobee County has a population of 41,000 hardworking people who work for everything they have. It's disgusting for their sheriff to send sexual messages on his work-issued phone paid for by tax dollars.
Paid for by the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir.
So it's subject to public records request?
Yes,
okay. And then you texted her on August 20th, 2019, you sunbathing naked again? Why did you ask her that question?
Flirtatious Texas.
In my last two videos, I exposed his affair with Teresa Chandler. This wasn't his only fling on the job. He also slept with a younger deputy's wife. Her name was Jill Rogers, and she committed suicide on August 30th, 2015. She was married to Adrian Rogers, who works on Okeechobee's motor unit. Most people don't know how involved Jill and Sheriff Stevens actually were. This was before Noel became sheriff. He was still second in command. Jill was executive director of communities and schools.
Communities and Schools is a national nonprofit. We've been doing this work now for 45 years, and we are in 26 states all across the country. That translates into 3,000 schools, serving 1.6 million students.
CIS is a nonprofit organization, and Sheriff Stevens was on the leadership board. He said they received a call from the IRS about payroll taxes not being paid. Noel said Jill ensured everyone it was a mistake, and she would get it cleared up. He said the IRS contacted them for a meeting. That was scheduled for Monday, August 31st, 2015. She killed herself the day prior while she was scheduled to meet Sheriff and other board members. When she didn't arrive for the meeting, Sheriff said he became worried and called her husband Adrian. When Sheriff finally got Jill on the phone, she told him take care of her family and said she's got to go. Sheriff pinged her location and found Jill's black Chrysler 300 on a road off US 98. He was with her best friend Amanda Blewett, who married Jill's husband shortly after she supposedly killed herself. Amanda and Jill's ex-husband Adrian are still married today. When Sheriff Stevens found the vehicle, the doors were closed. He said Amanda opened both doors and found an empty holster. Shortly afterwards, he supposedly located Jill and notified the agency. Sheriff said he checked for a pulse, but her body was cold. She was found on her back with a gunshot wound to the chest. There were 2 shell casings on the scene, one near her foot and another next to her car. With Jill 30 feet away from her car, I find it odd a shell casing was near the vehicle. As I stated earlier, Sheriff Stevens had an affair with Jill before she killed herself. When Jill died, she had a phone he gave her for the affair. The phone was under his wife Lori Stevens' family plan. Just 2 days after her death, Sheriff Stevens went and collected the phone from Highland County Sheriff's Office. I think it's very suspicious he took her phone from police possession. It obviously contained evidence and should have never been released to him. There was something on her phone that he needed to get rid of. Noel Stevens abuses his power and needs to be stripped from duty. He's a terrible sheriff and has no respect for the position.
Form, she's one of them.
When you say one of them, what does them mean?
That always has drama.
Okay. But drama in the sense of legitimate drama, or drama in the sense of...
Don't care whether it's legitimate or not. Don't drag me in the middle of it. And I so often get drug in people's drama quite frequently.
And, you know, there's
That's,
text
that's inappropriate text that, that have nothing to do with the case. When the sheriff hat goes on and the flirting guy cat comes off, there's a distinct difference, Counselor.
How do we know when the 2 hats are on or off?
Form. Based on the verbiage in the text message, I think tells the tale.
So you're saying that in this text message you get your sheriff's hat on?
I think that's a fair assumption, correct.
Okay. And you say assuming it happened here. What did you mean by that?
Because we can't investigate something that didn't happen in my jurisdiction.
Okay. But you don't ask any further questions about whether it actually happened here?
Okay.
Is that fair to say in this text message?
That's fair to say, yes.
Now, did you care about what was happening or what Miss Chandler had alleged happened?
No, sir.
So you didn't care whether she had been actually battered or not?
That I have to, as you well know, I got to differentiate myself with the system. The system is not always the best for anybody.
I understand, but as I read your text messages with her prior to this allegation, you appeared to be very concerned with what was going on in her life, at least from your text messages.
As well as I was the docs.
Well, I'm not talking about what was happening with the doctor. I'm talking about with...
Well, I'm talking about both of them. They're both my friends, so I care about them both.
He takes no accountability for his affairs and continues to disrespect the uniform. It's funny how he claims to separate work from his affairs, but he cheats on his sheriff-issued phone. It's mind-blowing how he operates above the law and illegally uses inmate labor to this day.
Did the Florida Department of Law Enforcement ever instigate an investigation against you for the use of inmate labor?
No, sir.
And did you ever receive any inquiry from them?
No.
And did you ever receive any inquiry from the U.S. Attorney's Office?
No. Form.
Okay. And when I say inquiry, I mean regarding that issue. And what do you understand inmate labor can be used for?
To better the community, to help nonprofits, exactly what I use them for.
Can they be used for weddings?
When we do weddings for our staff to save them money, I purchase tents, tables, and chairs with confiscated drug monies. So I take my sentenced inmates and I have them to give back to the community, and I assign an officer to that. So mostly nonprofits, and as you've seen in the calendars, people doing benefits, we'll set the tent tables and chairs up for them so they can have a function and not have to pay for that service.
But go ahead.
And then I allow my staff as a benefit and as a perk to work on retention. If they have a private function, a family function, a wedding, I think there were 2 staff members, matter of fact, getting married there. And they're also allowed to use the tent, and that's a little give back that we do. And yes, the inmates do put the tents up, set the tables and chairs up, and take them down for them.
And the inmates are required to do that.
Well, that's part of their, as statutory obligated, I can give them 5 days of gain time a month. So when they come out and they work, they get extra time for doing that extra work. So normally I'll give them, the inmates that come out and work on that crew. They also mow county parks, county facilities. They'll go to the roadways, pick up garbage or trash if it falls out of the back of the truck. They'll go to a real congested, grown up intersection, and they're used. Most of them are drug addicts that are reoccurring. I'm now seeing 3rd generation coming through the jail. So I use this as a thing for them to give back to the community and get them connected and have something to be proud of.
Now, the forfeiture money you talked about, you said you used the forfeiture money to purchase the chairs and tents and things?
Correct.
Form.
But then you use those chairs, you said, for private weddings?
Form.
On occasion, for staff members that, they're loaned out to staff, they're loaned out to nonprofits.
And what's the public purpose for the use of those items for a private wedding, for example?
I'm working on retention of employees as much as I can, and the staffing issues that we have today, this is a perk that the staffers get.
So that's what you believe is a public purpose?
Correct.
I've never heard of inmate labor being used for officer weddings. They've been doing this for decades, and he knows this is illegal. The entire sheriff's department is corrupt, and they receive promotions for completing dirty work.
Do you ask either of those persons, Hurst or Thomas, to assign the Chandler complaint to Mr. Gonzalez?
Well, not that I recall.
Okay. And it's the Detective Gonzalez. Did he ever request, or was he up for promotion at any time?
I don't recall.
Who handles promotions in your office?
Command staff.
And who ultimately has final authority as to who gets promoted?
Me.
Okay. Do you know whether Detective Gonzalez was ever promoted since May of 2020?
I think so, yes, sir.
And what was he promoted to?
Sergeant, I think.
And were you the person who approved his promotion?
If he got promoted to a sergeant, yes.
Every officer he promoted during his career needs to be investigated. Sheriff has no respect for the citizens of Okeechobee. He backstabs his own staff and is willing to sleep with a fellow officer's wife. Adrian Rogers said he wasn't aware his wife owed the IRS money. He said the day Jill passed, she went to visit her mother. Shortly after, Sheriff Stevens arrived at his home looking for her. Sheriff didn't tell Adrian about the debt until the day Jill passed. Adrian got a hold of Jill one last time, and she told him she wiped their accounts. I think it's suspicious Jill had one of Sheriff's phones when she died. I wonder why he took it from evidence just 2 days after. I'm not saying Sheriff killed Jill, but he may know more information about the money she owed the IRS. I'm curious why he was worried about the phone from evidence after she died. With everything that's happened, Sheriff still has no accountability. I still wouldn't know who he was if Warren never got arrested. This could have all went away if he took ownership of his deputies and apologized to Coach during their meeting.
The world's not going to stop for you at that point.
I'm a law-abiding citizen being grabbed and illegally detained.
Well, that's your opinion. But
We've already had the Monday morning quarterback from the DA, right? You didn't see that one?
Are you asking me a question? What can I do for you today?
I was looking for an apology because you told me that I was wrong.
You are, as well as my deputy. You both, in my opinion, could have handled the situation differently, and there have been a different outcome.
How could I have handled the situation better?
Well, I'm not prepared to talk to you about that now. You are in the process of a criminal case, and we're not going to try that case.
What criminal case?
You going to let me talk, or you going to interrupt me?
No, I was asking, what criminal case am I involved in?
Let me talk to you, and I'll answer your question. And then you could go, then we'll let you talk. Fair enough?
I'm listening.
Sir?
I'm listening.
We're not going to try your criminal case across my desk. There is a process. If you feel that you have been wronged by one of my deputies, by one of my supervisors, or anybody with the Okeechobee County Sheriff's Office, you can file a complaint against an officer that will be looked at, and that information that is found from that request will be passed on to you. As far as your criminal case, that will go through the process, or already has, because I think your case has been null pros. So that criminal case is over with and has been dropped by the state attorney's office. So there has been a after action report that has been developed by my office at my request because of some of the very things that you have pointed out already. And there have been some findings that have been already done with that, and that is public record and available to you upon your request.
Would you provide that for me?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. When you go out, if you just stop at my public records.
I just made it right here with you, Chief.
Sir?
I just made it right here with you.
I have staff that does that. So
I understand. You can pass that over to the staff for me.
That to you upon your request on your way out.
I just did it with you,
No,
sir.
You don't understand that there is a process and a people that are in positions to fulfill your request, document it so it is properly done. I don't take those reports.
I can do it orally, and you're telling me you already have filed something, and action has been taking place, and that is a public record that I can get.
Evidently, you don't understand, or you don't feel that it's right how we handle the job.
No, never said that one time.
Yes, sir. That's because you're cutting me off. You're not allowing me to finish, and you're not allowing me to give you the proper people and process to get your request fulfilled.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
I'll see the young lady. I'll see the young lady out front.
Conversation is over with here. I wish you a good day.
No, I was at no. I would like to speak to you. You're not gonna give me an apology?
No, sir.
You told me I was wrong, and I definitely wasn't wrong.
We're done.
And you haven't read the. I'm coming right behind you, sir. Yes, no problem. Leave me right on out of here. I'm coming right behind you. Come on, I'm right behind you.
No, sir.
All right, there it is. I forgot. Officer safety. Oh. So you gonna tell the young lady for me, or I gotta tell her?
That sounds like you're going to handle it for you. I already told you how.
No, I was asking.
Right, come on right here. Stand right there. Oh, he's not here. She'll take care of you.
You want to tell her what that is? That thing
You got a
was?
request. If you can get his request and fulfill it, I appreciate it.
No. I'm asking you to tell her what you just told me in your office.
Have a good day.
You're not gonna tell me what you just told me in your office? No?
And you don't have my permission to record me, just so you know.
You know you are a public servant, and I can record the police in the course of their duties. You might want to get in the Constitution, Chief. Sheriff, you might want to do the Constitution.
If he kicks out an NFL Hall of Famer, imagine how he treats the average Joe. His ego is through the roof, and he gets defensive if you question him. Warren wasn't even hostile and didn't come there for an argument. He wanted a man-to-man conversation because he felt his rights were violated. He treated him like a criminal and wouldn't accept his fault in the situation. After hanging up in his face a few days earlier, he could have at least dropped his pride and apologized.
Because you said you were going to call me on Monday, and I said a couple days or whatever, Monday, couple days. And I want you to know, Sheriff, and I'm recording this phone conversation for transparency and accountability, please. Is that all right?
I don't have a problem with
that. Oh, no,
I
was just making.
I mean, if that's, it's how you do business, and that's how you do business. I'll just back out and let it go.
How I do business? I wanted to know, you said to me you would handle it, and I wanted to know how you was handling it, because I wasn't going forward. I was just getting my people, in ready, because I was charged and had to bail out of jail. You realize that, right?
I understand that, but rightfully so. So I mean, you're not completely innocent in this situation. You both could have handled this situation a whole lot better than how it was handled. And I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback either one of you, but both of you are in the wrong.
So,
and if you want this thing to go its course, we'll let it go its course. All
right. How about this? How about this, Chief? How about this, Chief? And you said you was gonna call me, so you're calling me today to tell me what?
I'm asking you, what do you want done? Do you want me to work on this, or are you going to do it? Are you going to work on it? That's what I'm asking you.
You left me with the impression that you was going to handle this, right? That's what you said to me Sunday morning, correct?
I said, no, give me a couple of days.
Give you a couple of days, all right? Now you got a couple of days. You reviewed the footage, and you're saying you're not going to Monday morning. I just want to know, does my constitutional rights survive in Okeechobee?
Then you just go through your due process, and we'll see where your civil rights go, Warren. That's what you need to do.
No, I'm asking because I was charged. Wait.
I understand completely where you're at.
No. I was charged with obstruction.
Correct.
And you rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
So when you in a traffic stop, when is the traffic stop over?
When the deputy or the officer says that it's over. They're conducting official business. You impeded on their investigation as obstruction and got charged accordingly.
And you believe that's according with Florida statute what?
I do believe that the arrest was valid. Do I believe that the officer was a little froggy to jump, if you will? Absolutely.
Absolutely. No deep. Oh,
let me
finish.
Please. Let me finish.
Please.
And then do I believe that you interjected in the traffic stop that had nothing to do with you? Absolutely. There's a proper time and a place, Warren, for you to deal with that and ask your questions, rightfully so, for your due process and your constitutional right. When that officer is doing a traffic stop, that is not the time. You're a professional. When you were on the field doing your job, nobody interjected with you in your job. Correct? So there is a right time. If they want to ask you a question, then that's rightfully so.
So your
when that officer is doing the traffic stop, you do not impede on that investigation. Even if they're wrong, you don't question them on the side of the road. That is not the proper time nor the place.
That's what you're going with?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm going with. So you have a good morning. Take care.
So what do I do with my chart? Oh, okay. Here we go.
Sheriff Stevens can't accept criticism and is a tyrant in charge. Every time someone questions him, he says it's badgering.
On to why there was a delay in reporting.
I have no opinion on what was done and not done. Once again, all this information is turned in to the detectives, to the prosecutors. It's their responsibility and obligation to review the documents. Okay. I haven't been asked to review anything, nor am I prepared to review anything or give you my opinion at this point.
Well, the question is, you're the sheriff, right? And you have a deputy underneath you that you assign to this case at some point.
Okay.
Okay. That deputy has a duty and obligation to look at all the evidence.
Correct.
So I'm asking you, as the sheriff, looking at this evidence, does it cause you any concern?
I'm
Objection
not
form.
prepared once again to give you my opinion hastily while we sit here today, you know, in this badgering that I'm receiving, sir.
Okay.
So if you got a complaint against the case officer, then there's a step and a process to do so,
And
it will be evaluated at that point
Sir,
if you let me finish,
well,
sir. Out of
We're
respect.
in the middle of a lawsuit against your office.
I understand, but I am
against you.
speaking, and there is respect to be had here,
Go
Counselor.
ahead. Say whatever you want to say.
I'm done.
You guys let me know how you feel about this in the comments. Do you think Sheriff Stevens needs to be removed from duty? Also, how do you feel about him taking Jill's phone after she killed herself? Everything stated in this video is backed up by court documents. Stick around to the end of the video to review the real documents yourself. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe for me. Also, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any news or updates. I've got daily videos coming every day for y'all. I really appreciate your support to the channel. I want to send my condolences again for Jill's family. I hate to rekindle bad memories, but Sheriff needs to be questioned for what happened. It's very suspicious she died with a phone that was registered to him. And it must have been very important because he illegally took it from evidence 2 days after her passing. Sheriff Stevens' account of Jill IRS money Sheriff Stevens' account of how he found Jill Rogers. Proof Jill died with a phone given to her by Sheriff. Proof Sheriff Stevens got the phone from evidence 2 days after Jill's death.